Hi, I'm host Eric, host Talking Famous People. I'm here today to talk about things that are pleasant and satisfying for each type. What does a person find pleasant and satisfying and non-angering? Well, for me, JC likes lollipops and rainbows, and I don't blame her for that. One thing that I legitimately find very pleasant and satisfying is playing music. I never seem to be angry when I'm playing music. Hookers and drugs. I think said hookers and dogs at first. Hookers and drugs makes a little bit more sense as a parallelism for parallelism purposes. But I mean, the ENTP has trouble finding satisfaction in general and feeling sated. But I do know that when I've exercised a lot, which is very, very rare, I sometimes will feel sated in that fashion, satisfied.
Who is the nicest type? ESFPs, we are the nicest type.
I think that might be true. I think that's true.
It is I
think it might be. Well, I mean, I think it could be a toss-up between us and ISFJ, yeah.
ISFJ is really nice, too. I like ESFPs a lot.
We're more social than ISFJ, so we're nicer to a larger amount of people.
Neither ENTPs nor INTPs want the hookers, guys. These guys keep talking about hookers and drugs. Look, ENTPs don't...
Hookers?
Yeah, ENTPs don't like hookers. Okay? We do like drugs.
See, I think then I don't. I think I like sexual intercourse, and then I don't. It never works out in my favor.
Right. We're not...
It's never as fun as
we're not conquerors. INTPs don't like hookers either. We're both infantiles. ENTPs and INTPs are infantile types. We don't go into a sexual encounter feeling like we're hungry and we're going to eat now. You know, we go into it feeling like, oh, this is a little bit, unless I'm comfortable with her, right? You got to be in a long-term relationship to be comfortable. I envy the SE types who just have that simple, thought-free, I'm hungry and I'm going to eat now thing, you know?
So it's because they are stuck under the conventional standards in terms of relationship or whatever, or in terms of their gender role. So if a guy has SE, we're gonna be like, oh shit, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is the cultural and
no, they don't think that. That's what we think. That's what we think. Trenton, there's no ESTP who ever goes through that thought process and says, oh, this is what's expected. It's a social and cultural norm. Therefore, I'm going to have sex with these girls. That is not their thought process at all.
Conscious, though.
Their thought process is, I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. Right. Well,
yeah, I think
they've accepted those conventional standards into their unconscious psyche, and they act through them.
Okay, Trenton. You want to interpret it through your TI framework? That's fine. All right. Who was saying something about fourth slot SE, and you don't do casual? Was that
the other Eric?
Oh, plebeian. Okay, so fourth slot SE. Does that mean you're an INTJ or INFJ? Plebeian. INFJ. Okay. Yeah, well, I don't think INFJs do casual sex either. I mean, I think there are certain types that do and certain types that don't. And it's really a body thing. It's a relationship with your body. For NT types, it's not that simple, right? We're in our head a lot. And there's lots of possible ways in which this could turn out badly and be embarrassing and make us feel ashamed of ourselves. That's my experience with it. And so, I mean, I don't know if it's the same for NTJs. NTPs, I think that's basically our experience of it, although I think I think chicks have an easier time of it in general, because they're not expected to go in there and conquer and be hungry and eat, you know? Not that I don't get hungry and enjoy eating. I'm just saying it's always a complicated, unless I'm in a relationship, yeah, I slay the puss, right? Thanks, Lorenz, that's great advice. When in doubt, slay the puss. Okay, well, slaying the puss notwithstanding, that's exactly the sort of thing that I'm not good at, right? Is slaying the puss.
That's also
It
what was I
doesn't
saying?
mean
ENTJs. This is how ENTJ. ENTJs are like ESTPs, but they are in the chase of, I guess, fulfilling the conventional standards placed upon them. They will be, I guess, they'll try to conquer the system, but then also use the system. Like, say, yeah, I'm aware I'm supposed to have sex with a lot of girls, and I'm having sex with a lot of girls because I'm that good. I understand the system, and or some shit like that. I don't fucking know. I have an idea in my head, and it's hard to explain.
Well, I think it depends on the culture of the place where you grow up as well. I'd like to think that there's a lot of places that are somewhat less barbaric than they used to be. I know that my neighborhood where I grew up, went to school, was like what you're describing as far as social norms back in the day when I went there, and it's not so much anymore. I think it's fair to say that because of the large influx of Chinese people, the dynamics have changed. Although the white kids still kind of act the same, but there's a more as a genuinely more feminist vibe to it around here, I think, than it used to be, which is nice. And I mean, the thing is, of course, I've always had strong feelings in opposition to that sort of conquest-oriented position of the males that have that kind of conquest-oriented position. But I know that other types are probably much more comfortable having casual relations and not feeling as though they're doing anything wrong or as though it's unwise for their own self-worth or whatever. So anybody want to comment on this topic of sexual conquest and the such?
I have two things to
Yes,
comment.
JC, you go first.
And my
I can't hear you. Try to say it again.
type. I'd like. Oh, I just said that I would like to defend my type. I would like to say that all ESFPs are not sluts. Thank you very much. And that's all I wanted to say.
You weren't. What matters?
I didn't know that.
1,000 guys a day. Who cares?
I didn't know that.
What
Is that a reputation of ESFPs? That's interesting. It would make sense, I guess.
Yeah, like we're like the party girls who have to get drunk and have sex.
Get drunk and have sex if you want, as long as you don't hurt anybody else. Fuck yeah. Who cares?
If that's what you're
No,
into.
yeah, I'm not saying that that's a thing. I'm not saying that that is a bad thing or a good thing. I'm just saying that I think that you should not be put under that umbrella. That's all. Like, as a whole group.
I agree.
Not all like that.
Question.
Not like that.
Question. Is there cause to think that it's healthier in general to not be engaged in a lot of casual sex? Or is that just old school prudery that's not worth anything?
The only thing that comes into mind when I think about casual sex being unhealthy, the only objective variable you could identify in that is if you could fuck 1,000 people casually, as long as there's no STDs and nobody's being physically harmed. It doesn't fucking matter. It's just a me.
No, in women, hello, in women, the same hormone that is produced that when you are breastfeeding is produced during orgasm. There is a chemical connection that happens when a girl has an orgasm.
Okay, here, have something to add to that. One, I think more girls have orgasms when they masturbate than girls that have sex, because most of the time, 50% of the time, most married women haven't even had an orgasm in their life. The only orgasms most women have are from masturbation. So I mean, so you're saying all girls would masturbate?
All right, hold on. No, Trenton, hold on.
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm not. What?
Hold on. Can I interject
I'm talking
here?
about the connection that happens. Go.
Let me just clarify what JC means and help Trenton get past his obsession with TI for a second. What she's saying is that individuals have emotional connections with other human beings when they have sex with them. And as a consequence, even though they might go into that experience thinking it's a good idea for casual reasons, they might emerge from that feeling with complicated feelings. Emerge from that experience with complicated feelings that make it more difficult
Yeah.
to process than simply to say, well, let's evaluate it on an objective kind of nobody's being a negative rights framework. See, that's the thing. Interpersonal relations morality is different than government morality. You know. Other thoughts on this?
But
Yeah, like my whole thing with casual sex is all emotional. All of my reasonings for not doing that have to do with my own feelings and wanting to that if I am to have sex with a guy, I am going to be attached to him, and I'm not just going to I'm not going to attach myself in that way to anybody that I don't feel is deserving, I guess, for lack of a better word, I guess.
Okay, so I think it's fair to say then at this point that we as individuals can feel as though it's not the right course of action for us, and nobody's going to dispute that. We know that I know for me it's not the right course of action for me, that I'm not looking for that because it's more anxiety than the pleasure is worth. To put it in a nutshell.
that's I
And
agree. That's why I don't.
and so
That too many. See, people are too emotional about their sex, and there's pregnancy, STDs. Oh my God! I just want to find one woman and just say, here's everything I have.
you just want you want to put that you want to put that issue to bed and not have to think about it anymore. I know. Okay, now here's the thing, Milkman. You said you've been accused of being a slut. I take it to mean that you indulge some as an INTP male. We all know that chicks like INTP males. I think it's well established because they play it cool. You know, they're the dark brooding type. Anyway, and you find that an enjoyable activity, and that you think it's harmless, or what?
Well, no, that's kind of taken a little bit out of context. It wasn't for the reasons
Oh, I see.
of eating. It was just for just maybe being like a social slut, just like
What the hell? What's a social slut?
I don't know.
Okay.
No.
A lot of females.
Omnia, do you have
Just,
any thoughts
maybe
on this? I'm sorry. Go ahead,
physical,
Lorenz.
Interaction with multiple people.
So you like to go out a
It's
lot.
kind of jokingly at the same time. Well,
Okay.
not really that.
Omnia, do you have any thoughts on this? Or Plebeian Eric, do you have any thoughts on this this relationship to sex per type? I can tell you that in general, like ESFJs, they're not experiencing any of that anxiety at all, and in fact, their primary concern is making sure that the other person is happy, which is perfect for an ENTP, and caring for the other person. So I think that the typing of the relationship between types and the nature of the sexuality expression, which would either be nurturing, infantile, victim, or aggressor, or something like that. I think what we're in general reacting to are the aggressor types and saying we find them brutish and uncouth in some fashion, and perhaps guilty of being callous with others' feelings. I think there's times when we get judgy about the victim types as well, and we say that person's not being treated well in that relationship. Why is that person staying there? And because I think that they don't just express themselves in sex, they sometimes express themselves in the relationship at large as well. So I think that as infantiles, INTPs and ENTPs are likely to share a certain anxiety about intercourse. ENTPs are likely to be a lot more open about it. And we're likely to share a certain dismissal of the more predatory sexual behavior of other types. Any other thoughts on this? If we have any INTJs in the room, they are the victims. They're the victim types. They want to be, victimized or something. Okay. Well, anyway, thanks for watching Talking with Famous People on this Sex Talk. Sex Talk Saturday, we call it. Where we talk about sexual intercourse, which always does well in terms of views. If you're a viewer, watch this one. You're a dirty mind, you person. Everybody always wants to watch the Sex Talk videos.